10 teams, hundreds of millions, countless bad pit stops, and still, no one knows what Ferrari's strategy team actually does. Welcome to Formula One. In this video, I will explain each Formula One team in detail. When the team started, what were its achievements or scandals, and how are these teams making their fans laugh or cry? Every team and F1 season has a story, and we are here to tell it. Like, subscribe, and don't miss a single moment of the drama behind the paddock. Red Bull. The Red Bull racing team is like that rebellious kid in school who suddenly becomes class topper, fast, flashy, and always a little too confident. Born in 2005 from the ashes of Jaguar Racing, Red Bull entered F1 with more energy than a triple espresso. Owned by the Austrian energy drink company Red Bull GmbH, the team wasn't taken too seriously at first. Many thought they were just there to market cans of sugary water. Oh, how wrong they were. Led by team principal Christian Horner, Red Bull got serious when they hired design genius Adrian Newey in 2006. Newey transformed their cars into flying machines. But the real magic began with the arrival of young German driver Sebastian Vettel, a grinning prodigy who could drive like a demon in the rain. Between 2010 and 2013, Red Bull won 4 consecutive drivers' and constructors' championships, turning the paddock into their personal playground. Their fans used to roar in the paddock, making fun of other teams and fans. But then, their downfall came. In 2014, F1 changed the rules and engines. The new hybrid engine didn't like Red Bull cars, as they occasionally coughed and stopped during the race. Adrian and Sebastian were helpless in front of them. But then, Red Bull partnered with Honda in 2019, and by 2021, everything clicked again. Max Verstappen stepped on the grid and won his first highly controversial championship. This made fans either cheer or throw their TVs out of the window. With a stroke of luck and a bit of dirty plan, Verstappen snatched the championship title from Lewis Hamilton. After this, he became unstoppable. From 2021 to 2024, he won 4 championships, giving Red Bull wings. But now, in 2025, Red Bull is again facing the downfall. Newey is leaving them, so all the magic from the team is vanishing. Let's see what next year has in store for Red Bull. Mercedes. Maybe the most royal team of Formula One is Mercedes. It is the oldest F1 team, but also the youngest one. Yes, its history is quite interesting and confusing. This team started its F1 journey in 1954 and instantly became a dominant force in the racing. Alfa Romeo and Ferrari were previously dominating, but they were forced to see Mercedes cars crossing the finish line without any competition or hurdle. This continued until 1955, when Mercedes faced an extremely controversial accident that scared everyone. This accident took the lives of 83 spectators and injured almost 200 people. After this accident, Mercedes decided to withdraw from the Formula One world entirely. It remained away for more than a decade, but then Braun GP did the unthinkable. In 2009, he built a private team where Jenson Button won the Drivers' Championship and Braun won the Constructors' Championship. After these remarkable achievements, he sold the team to Mercedes as he had no budget. Mercedes decided to show its power to the F1 world, so they asked Michael Schumacher to come back after his retirement. With him, they launched Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg. These 3 drivers dominated the grid from 2014 to 2020, making Red Bull fans weep. But then, Lewis left Mercedes to join Ferrari in 2021. Since then, we saw its team principals losing their calm and Mercedes fans secretly hoping for another dominant era. Now it seems like their dreams are going to be fulfilled as George Russell and Andrea Kimi Antonelli are dominating the 2025 grid. Ferrari. Just like Mercedes, Ferrari also has an interesting history. The team was once dominating the grid and now crying loudly in the paddock. It has been a part of Formula One since the time when F1 wasn't even F1. Yes, it started its journey in 1950 and instantly became a dominant force on the grid. From the 1950s to 2008, Ferrari enjoyed a glorious time. 16 Constructors' Championships, 15 Drivers' Championships, more than 240 race wins, 250 pole positions, and a $50 million per year budget defined Ferrari. Every F1 fan was a Ferrari fan at heart. They used to cheer up the remarkable drivers that this team has given us over the years. Michael Schumacher, Lewis Hamilton, Niki Lauda, Alberto Ascari, Kimi Raikkonen, Sebastian Vettel, and now Charles Leclerc. But then their downfall came. The engineers started losing their mind cells, and we started seeing disastrous pit strategies and car designs. Now, Ferrari has made peace with the idea that they are the only car makers who occasionally race on the grid too. Haas. I know Haas is an underdog team in F1, but I have high hopes for this team. They stepped into the pinnacle of motorsport in 2016 and instantly dominated the grid. Romain Grosjean won 6th position in Haas's first season, earning it a decent fan base. But since then, the team has been struggling. Their budget is made of dreams and duct tape, and their drivers have no desire to become a champion or even top 10. So, we could see its team principal cursing everyone and the engineers weeping because of the low budget. However, in 2025, they decided they have enough. They hired Oliver and Esteban, who are performing quite well this season. Ocon has won 5th position, Haas is 6th in the Constructors' Championship, and Oliver Behrman earned 8th position. Everything is going smoothly for Haas, if we ignore the incident where its car littered the track during the 2025 session. McLaren. Just like Ferrari, McLaren also has a rich history. It was founded by Bruce McLaren when he was 26. In 1963, he set up a shop in a small shed with the dream of building his own cars. He succeeded in achieving his dream, and we saw McLaren's first Grand Prix win in 1968 with Bruce behind the wheel. This started the golden era of McLaren, where it introduced Ayrton Senna and dominated the grid during the Senna-Prost era. After him, they introduced Lewis Hamilton, who dominated the grid until 2008. But then he left, making McLaren fans weep. Since then, they have been weeping continuously. After Lewis, the Papaya team gave F1 a shock by breaking up with Mercedes and having a disastrous relationship with Honda. Its fans hadn't forgiven them for this crime. As of 2025, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri are giving a fun personality to this team while giving it race and podium wins. This has raised hopes in McLaren's Gen Z fan base. Williams Racing is the ultimate underdog to legend to heartbreaking decline story in Formula One, a true motorsport roller coaster. Founded in 1977 by Sir Frank Williams and engineer Patrick Head, this British team didn't enter F1 with $1 billion budget or a flashy image. Instead, they brought grit, garage smarts, and a stubborn refusal to quit, even when things looked hopeless. In the 1980s and 1990s, Williams rose to become one of the most dominant and respected teams in the sport. With legendary drivers like Nigel Mansell, Nelson Piquet, Damon Hill, and Alain Prost, and engineering partnerships with engine giants like Honda and Renault, Williams was nearly unstoppable. They won 9 Constructors' Championships and 7 Drivers' Championships. But then, decline came. Williams's legacy crashed, as there were no investors, and new F1 rules or engines were confusing. At last, after giving the lowest performance in 2020, the family sold the team to a US-based investment firm, Doralton Capital. Since then, Williams has slowly been rebuilding itself. Alex Albon and Carlos Sainz are reviving the legacy of Williams, raising the hope that this team will again become the top dog of F1. Aston Martin. Just like Haas, Aston Martin is also an underdog with limited resources and no big names. Its birth year is 1991, and since then, it has been surviving. Over the years, it has changed numerous names such as Jordan Grand Prix, Spiker, Force India, and Racing Point. Its family kept changing after a few years, as no one could keep up with its low budget. But if we talk about talent, this team has shocked the F1 world now and then. For example, winning 6 podiums out of 8 races at the beginning of the 2023 season. These flashes of brilliance raised hopes in Aston Martin's fans' hearts. And now, after Lawrence Stroll's money and Lance Stroll's unpredictable driving, its fans are hopeful for a progressive future. Alpine. Alpine is quite an interesting team, as it manages to give the worst performance even though 20 celebrities are sponsoring it. With these sponsors, this midfield team occasionally shocked the F1 world, like it did in the Crashgate incident. In 2008, at the Singapore Grand Prix, the team pulled one of the most jaw-dropping stunts in F1 history. They allegedly told Nelson Piquet Jr. to crash on purpose to trigger a safety car and help Alonso win the race. It worked, and Alonso won. But then, their plan was leaked, and they got the biggest fine in the Formula One world. Now don't get me wrong, it is just one part of Alpine history. Other than this drama, the Renault engine team has a brilliant history. In the 1990s, Michael Schumacher and Benetton won championships. Then, from 2002 to 2006, young Alonso helped them in ruling the grid. But after this, no one is willing to stay in this team. You will see engineers and drivers leaving the team mid-season without any care in the world. Sauber. Sauber is the real poor F1 team that has never won any championship. It is just existing on the grid, trying to survive Formula One without getting any mental breakdown. But they do have earned legendary status for nurturing talents like Kimi Räikkönen, Felipe Massa, and Sebastian Vettel. But it isn't enough to make them relevant. In fact, they were recently sold to Audi, and no one even noticed it. However, after getting sold, they are hopeful. Currently, they are waiting for 2026, when Audi will help them in winning any sort of pole position or race. Red Bull Racing Bulls. Red Bull is so greedy that it has 2 teams on the grid. One is senior and the other is junior. This junior Red Bull team has only one main purpose: to teach F1 drivers, polish their skills, and once they are ready, promote them to the senior Red Bull team. Its training program is famous for being tough and brutal, where you either win a Red Bull ticket or a train ticket to Formula X. Over the years, it has changed numerous names such as Minardi, AlphaTauri, Scuderia Toro Rosso, and Visa Cash Up Red Bull Racing Bulls. So, this is all about Formula One teams. By the way, which team surprised you the most? Drop your favorite team in the comments section and tell us why you like it.